Watch your language. Hi, Mary Malinski here, the Prosperity Priestess. And how do you use words? Do you use them consciously, or do you just say the first thing that comes to your mind? Do you just say things that you heard other people say? One of the biggest things towards developing a positive mindset and a successful and abundant reality for yourself is by giving attention to the words that you use. Words have power. Our words are how we order and create the world around us, how we make sense of the world around us. Even little things like, notice that when I'm talking to you, I say, give your attention instead of pay attention. Pay attention has a negative connotation. Paying something is not generally a positive thing. We have to pay bills, pay the piper. It has a really negative connotation to it, a really negative vibration to it. However, when you give attention to something, when you give somebody a gift, when you give somebody a hug, when you give somebody a compliment, much more positive, much more life-affirming way of saying it. So instead of paying attention, give attention. Some other words that can limit your success, limit your abundance in your life. A couple of big ones. Try. Please, please, please cut out the word try. When you say you'll try to do something, you set yourself up for failure. You give yourself the out for failing. Because you can always say, oh well, I tried. The only time try is a useful word is when you're trying on clothes. There is a time and a place for that word. And most of the time, it's not appropriate. Instead of saying, I'll try to learn that, or I'll try to do better, I'll give it some effort. I'll make an effort to do better. I will see if I can do that. Instead of trying, because trying, setting yourself up for failure. So one of the words to eliminate from your everyday conversation is try. Another really, really important word to eliminate from your conversation is but. When you say something and you include the word but, that word negates everything that you just said before that. So if you're telling somebody, you know, I really value our friendship, but I really wish you'd work on changing this, you're negating the fact that you value their friendship. You're making that unimportant because what you're really saying is you need to change this. You can almost always replace the word but with the word and. Again, just like the word try, there is a time and a place for it. Sometimes you want to negate whatever that previous phrase was. For example, just switching that around. You know, I'd really like it if you could change this, but I really value our friendship. See how that's a completely different message than the first one. So work to eliminate the word but. Bust your butts. Another phrase that can be very harmful is, I know that. If you truly knew something, you'd be living it. And by saying, I know that, it often belittles the other person and indicates to that other person that you're not truly listening, you're not truly hearing what it is they're trying to say. Haha, try, bang. You're not truly hearing what it is that the other person is saying. So eliminate the buts, eliminate the try, and you don't know that. One of the favorite games that we used to play every New Year's Eve was You Don't Know Jack. There's a lot that I don't know. There's a lot that I don't know because I'm not living it. There's a lot that I understand logically, and I'm not living it yet. So I don't truly know it until I'm living it. So those are some phrases to give your attention to and be aware of in your daily conversation, and how they're impacting how you're perceiving the world around you. Another thing to do with language is, I'm sure many of you are on Facebook. How do you show up on Facebook? When you are posting things on Facebook, are you mostly sharing pictures and thoughts that other people are sharing? Or are you sharing original ideas? Are you complaining? Or are you raising people up? When you're complaining, that is a lack message that you're sending out to the universe. And just as our words have power, a spoken word has a certain amount of power, but a written word has even more. I don't know if you've ever heard it said that people who write down their goals are much more likely to achieve them. And that's because the written word has so much more power. Once it's written down, it's real. So, what is it that you're writing down on Facebook? If you have to vent to a friend, that's fine. That's just air. You vent, you get it out. If you're using Facebook to vent, you're venting it, you're writing it down, you're making it real. You're making it like concrete. It's hard. It's earth. It's material. You're creating that, and it's there forever. When it's in cyberspace, it is there forever. So really, really be aware of what you're putting out there in the world. What kind of message are you sending out there in the world? Complaining is a lack vibration, and if you're putting that lack vibration out on Facebook, what are you going to be getting in return? Lack vibration. When you see somebody who's had a hard time, if they're, sending a message that could be perceived as complaining or could be perceived as venting, are you commiserating with them and saying, yeah, that's really rotten? Or are you saying, oh, I'm sorry that you had a hard time. Here's a hug, and I really hope it gets better for you. Are you reinforcing that lack vibration, or are you helping to lift that person out of that lack vibration? What you put out comes back to you. From time to time, yes, I put stuff out on Facebook because I need support. And I usually say, I really could use some support here on this right now. I'm having a tough day. I need a hug. I'm very conscious of what messages I put out there into cyberspace, into reality, because I know that what I put out comes back to me. So be aware of what kind of messages you're putting out in the world and how that influences what comes back to you. So for the next week, really give your attention to your language, to how you are shaping the world around you with the words that you're using. Bust your butt. Stop paying attention and start giving attention. Do or do not, there is no try, as Yoda said. Cut the try. And really listen when other people are sharing information with you, and don't brush them off with an I know that. Also, give your attention to what messages you're putting out in the world, on Facebook, on Twitter, or whatever social media that you're putting out there. Really be aware of the language you're using, because you're making it concrete when you write it down. Thank you. Have a wonderful and blessed week.